Today, Americans really need a wake-up call when it comes to their finances. People will talk about retiring and where they're going to go and what they're going to do, and I think there's more debt today than there ever has been. As a matter of fact, I know there's more debt today. And 78% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. So, when it comes time to retirement, and that's where I deal with a lot of people. I'm just trying to, help you avoid the pitfalls that are costly, but we deal with a lot of people that are at their stage in their life when they're actually ready to retire. And I see some people who have the desire, but they can't. So that's why I'm making this video. I hope this helps you out if you have been thinking about debt or how to get ahead. If 78% of the people are, living paycheck to paycheck, that means if one paycheck doesn't show up, they're struggling in, month out. And I think, it's a wake-up call for you to think about, where you are and what you're doing and where your money's coming and where your money is going. So, you probably need to get a little more serious with it. People don't understand how important it is to save or to have an income generating asset that pays you dividends while you're working or even when you're retired and you're not working. That's why I've talked about, if you've watched any of our other videos, we talk about that kind of stuff and why it's important. And let me know if you've seen these videos. Let me know, comment below, let me know how I'm doing, but I'm doing this for you. I just want you to avoid the things that I see over and over again. If you don't have the money saved, or if you don't have the money that's generating you income, you don't have the money to spend later. So a lot of people, it's the instant gratification. I got to go out and I got to go buy the car, I got to go buy the truck, and then they get the payment, and then it gets them a little further away from where they are further in life when they actually need that money while they're working. So I encourage you to, especially like college students, if you haven't done it already, and you're taking on debt, consider what it is that you're going after. Sometimes you do need the career, you need the job, and you need to have that as a goal. But how many people get out of college and they've just taken general courses and don't have that career, or they've changed from what they've taken the courses from? That's not where they're actually working, and yet they're still carrying that debt. So just these are things to think out before you get to that point. 41% of Americans, I read a report, haven't set any money away for retirement. Now think about that. It's imminent. We're all aging. We're all getting to the point where we physically can't work, or we can't get hired, or you're too old, or whatever the case might be, or you just don't feel like doing it anymore. If you think about your everyday expenses, what it costs you to live, even if you don't move to an area that is less costly than where you are right now, think about it. Debt is keeping a lot of people from actually saving or investing in something that's going to give them dividends. And I've talked about condos or retirement. I've talked about properties that give you dividends that pay you, so that we've helped many people, and they've got properties that are feeding them while they're retired. They have the income. So debt, the more debt you take on, the credit cards that you have on things that you can't even place. Okay, now what was it that I bought that was so important? Or the payment on the car, or maybe the house is too big. Maybe I shouldn't have bought that big house. Maybe I should have bought a smaller house and an investment property. So the debt is slowing down from the savings or the investment. And that's the part that I want to bring to your attention. It's a wake-up call. So 79% of those surveyed said that credit card debt amounted to 46%. Mortgage debt, 41%. Not all mortgage debt is bad, so you could have a mortgage that would be an income-producing mortgage. That's positive because, again, eventually when that thing gets paid off, you still have that retirement income. But here's the other thing is like auto loan debt, 28%. Okay, so that's a big one. Maybe you're in a vehicle that you don't need to be in. Maybe you need to just back down on that. So I've fallen into the same trap. I'm just letting you know. So it took me a few years to get out of it, but I did start investing in properties, and those properties are still generating the income while I'm still working. But the point is you know, think about yourself. If you had a few properties that were generating income for you while you're still working, you know, how beneficial would that be for you? Just, you know, think about that. And if you're thinking about doing something like this, you know, go ahead, comment below and let me know what your thoughts are and what direction you're headed. But like the student debt thing, I just want you to avoid that trap. A lot of people fall into that trap just because, oh, I'll go to school and I'll get a loan. Think about what it is. You got to pay that back. It's not free money. It's like a credit card. You go out to a meal, it's not free. You do have to pay it back. And credit card debt is something you need to take a look at, because, you know, once that gets your hooks in you, you know, it's pretty bad getting out of it, especially at high rate interest rates. It can take you years to get out of it. So, you know, you want to understand what kind of debt is good debt and what's bad debt. And a lot of people don't understand credit. They think that if they can afford it, or if they've gotten qualified or financed, that they can go ahead and do it. You know, 25% of people that were surveyed in 2018 said that they expect to die with debt. So that would mean that they're going to, you know, hose their creditors, or, you know, maybe their family members are going to be stuck with some debt. So, you know, do you want to do that? Maybe some people do, but I mean, I think probably not. And 41% of the people said that they don't know when they're going to pay off their debt because they have no way of figuring that out. You know, there's no way. 61% of adults said that debt, they didn't know how they could get out of it. This is adults now. This is people, full-grown adults. And, you know, I want to help young people to understand debt, because, you know, it can trap you and get you locked in so that further down the road you can't get ahead. Okay, so that's the college debt. You know, you think you're doing good and you're moving ahead, but actually it's going to take you years to get out of that. And I know of many people who have gotten into that trap. Some people that actually are in our company have gotten into that and have gotten their way out of it. So, but being knowledgeable, especially if you're young, to avoid those steps. This is why I do these videos. It's to help you avoid the pitfalls that are costly. I know, you know, if you have subscribed, if you haven't, go ahead and do so, or watch some of these other videos. It's all about helping you. So I just want you to realize that, you know, consumer debt is at its all-time high right now. It's let's see, the statistic is $13.6 trillion, which is $993 billion higher than it was in the peak of 2008, and that's when it collapsed. So we're talking about consumer debt. We're not talking about bad debt. We're talking about consumer debt. Now, if you have debts that are bringing in income to you, like, again, investment income, you know, where someone else is paying you, helping you pay that mortgage, that's not bad debt. That's good debt. Bad debt is something that you consume, it's gone, and you're still paying for it. Or you consume and you're paying for with interest. Now, the interest is the part of it that you got to understand. But budgeting is really the big thing that helps you to get out of that, is because knowing how much you have coming in and where your money is going is really a crucial life skill. So you'll have more control over your money, but you'll also have more control over your life. You'll have more control over the things that you're able to do later in life. And people say, oh, I'm going to live for the day. And of course, that day does catch up. You know, a lot of people that can't, you know, I'm at the beach and we help a lot of people move to the beach, retire to the beach, or have a second home here and have someone else pay for it. You don't get to that point if you have this stuff that's holding you down. So again, you know, just be considerate of what you're doing and think about it, but budget. You know, what are your goals? What are your long-term goals? And really, if the money is coming in, you know, the money's also going out. It's hard to hold on to money. Look, if we have $1 in our wallet, or we have a couple bucks in our wallet, what happens? We end up going out. We end up spending it. We have a good time. But if you have a couple extra dollars that you can hold on to, and that's the key, is holding on to it, and letting it work for you, I think, is the other big portion of that. So if you enjoyed this video, I hope you did. Go ahead and share it with somebody you think you might be able to use it. Or if you haven't done so already, go ahead and click the bell, because new videos come out every single week. We want to help you avoid the pitfalls that are costly. And wherever you are, whatever you're doing, really truly hope you're having a fantastic day. And be great. Do great things. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.